Hey, it's Naftali Visser here. Day 9 of the Humans Working Marathon. Today we're going to talk about guidance. All right. Now, it's a pretty short chapter, but there are several stories in this chapter, all right? So it's going to be a bit of a long video. Anyway, guidance. What do we mean by guidance? We're all guided. All right. Now, what do I mean by that? I will say that I often have this conversation in Boston and the East Coast and stuff where, let's just say there are more people who are agnostic or atheist than there are in other parts of the country. So sometimes when I start talking about guidance, people get a little up in their head about it and think that I mean God. You know, the God that they write about in the Bible. And I don't mean that at all, right? And I'll tell you a little story about that later too. What I'm talking about is there's a system, if you will, right? The same system that heals cuts, like we talked about in the last video. The same system that takes 2 cells and turns it into a baby, right? The same system that makes your heart beat. The same system that makes the sun rise and the sun set. I know it doesn't actually rise and set, but run with me here. The same system that brings clouds in and brings clouds out. The same system that brings fresh thinking to you. Right? We talked about in an earlier video when you are taking a shower and something pops into your head. Where does that come from? The same system that brings you new opportunities out of left field, right? From places that you had no idea they would show up from. What is that? I don't know what it is. I don't really care what it is. I don't care what the source of it is. All I know is that there is a system that works when we pay attention a little bit. Right? Now, even if it's all just one coincidence, it seems like it's a massive coincidence that we can depend on. From all of my experience in business and life and divorce and everything, I see it happening over and over and over and over and over. Meaning, stuff comes, especially through the power of thought. New thinking shows up when it needs to. And as a result, new opportunities show up, if you will. All right? I've seen far too many programmers, companies give up way too early in the process just because they couldn't figure out the whole process ahead of time, right? Not knowing that as you get started with something, other things are going to show up. All right?